I think the simplest thing is that after everyone speaks, we say, we're here for you.
And at first I was like, I don't know what that even is. And I came and it's such an important part of my day now.
I never really tried the Frenchwood soup before Soup Troupe. It really opened my eyes to a whole new part of the Frenchwood's dining hall.
Soup Troupe is really inclusive, and Soup Troupe is a place where everybody can just come and talk about soup when it's good, and also complain about soup when it's bad, because we all deserve a good bowl of soup in our lives.
Well, I never thought that I could ever meet a group of people so welcoming and kind and loving.
I never have soup other than Frenchwoods.
We know the kitchen staff just works so hard making these delicious soups for us every day. And just Soup Troupe is just the way we want to thank them and show that they're truly appreciated.
Being able to talk amongst my peers here at Frenchwoods about the daily soups has really enhanced my daily life.
Soup Troupe has really brought me and Ray close together. Yes, I don't think we would have been this close if it hadn't been for the soup that we get every day.
It's really helpful.
We're here for you.
I felt like I was the only one who could express my love for soup in such a dynamic way.
Thank you, Soup Troupe.
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 Thank you, Frenchwoods.
Hey Soup Troupe, it's Cole. One of your founders. I wanted to thank Soup Troupe for being such an inclusive space. I love you all. Keep enjoying soup and save me a mushroom and brie.
Hi everyone, my name is Danny.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to Soup Troupe Online.
And we are so excited to have you all today.
We have such a wonderful episode lined up for you guys today with such fantastic guests. So thank you so much for joining us. Before we begin today, I would like to take a moment to recognize the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I would like to take a moment to recognize everything she has done for us as a country, and especially for women and our society. So I'd just like to say rest in power. And also, make sure that you get out there and vote. It is now more important than ever. So if you are able to vote, make sure that you get out to the polls. Or if you need to get an absentee ballot, make sure you get started on that now. And now, without further ado, I would like to let you know why we are doing Soup Troupe Online. So basically, Soup Troupe is a nonprofit organization started by Danny Feldman and Cole Wright-Schaner at the Camp Frenchwoods Festival upstate in Hancock, New York. And Soup Troupe was an all-inclusive organization where people could come together and talk about the one thing that makes us all super happy and that can brighten anyone's day, the one good thing that we have left in this world, which is, of course, soup. So we moved online so that way we could have more people come and we could have everyone get together. Even though we didn't have Soup Troupe this summer, we are trying to get it going every single week with these Soup Troupe Online episodes. So that way we could get together and still discuss soup and bring some more people who might not have had Soup Troupe in the past to be able to watch and enjoy our episodes. So Danny, would you like to take over and introduce our first guest?
I would like to. I would love to. I would just like to shout out a bunch of our comment section is going crazy. A lot of first-time supers. Trevor Shingler says hello, watching from New Jersey. Victoria Mozaitis says this is the first time I made it to Soup Troupe Online, and to say that I'm blessed is an understatement. Kristen Wisniewski says, I must say I agree and ditto to Miss Victoria, and I am so excited to be here today. First Soup Troupe ever. Thank you, everyone, for watching today. So without further ado, our first special guest today is Jesse J.P. Johnson. Jesse was Bach in Wicked, both on the national tour and on Broadway. He was the understudy for SpongeBob and for Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob Squarepants, and he originated the role of Jack in Glory Days. I've had the privilege of working with him on Hide and Seek, which is a musical I was able to write and produce at 54 Below this past February. And we are so excited to welcome him today. So without further ado, Jesse J.P. Johnson.
What's up?
Hey, thank you so much for being here.
Welcome, Jess. We're
Thanks
so
for
happy to
having
have you here.
I'm so excited to be here as well. I am a Soup Troupe virgin, so thank you for busting that for me.
Of course.
Do you bust it? I don't know. That was weird to say.
That's all right. Well, okay, so the first thing that we like to do here on Soup Troupe is the question we like to ask all of our guests.
Okay.
So, for you, what is your favorite soup memory?
Oh my God. I am a huge soup lover. Like I told you guys before, I am half Greek and Italian. So grew up on a lot of different types of soups. I do have to say, when I was young, what I was like really obsessed with was top ramen. I would have top ramen every single day after school in the morning. I was, I was one of those kids, if I had a taste for something, if I liked something, I would eat it all the time. I had like a burger obsession for like breakfast for some reason. So soup is something that I love. It's good in the summer. It's good in the winter. But mainly just, my mom would make just like copious amount of soup, like her chicken noodle soup, and she would make pasta vazou and avogalamono soup, which is, a Greek lemon soup that I have been able to perfect. So it's mainly just as like, brings me back to my mom's kitchen growing up.
Yay, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That is so, I love to make soup, so I'm intrigued to try your soup one day. So we know that you originated the role of Jack in Glory Days, written by Mr. Nick Claymire. So talk about a little bit about originating a role and what that means and how soup was like really impactful for that.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it was my first Broadway show. I was 22. I was very young and very lucky to have that opportunity. I did the national tour of Altar Boys with Nick Blaemire, and that's how I met him. And then got an audition for the show, and I got the part. It was the first time I ever like lived in the city. And as like an opening night gift, my parents gave me a puppy because I wanted a dog so bad. And they're like, no, you aren't getting a dog until you get a Broadway show. And then I showed them, and I was very lucky. I was in the right place at the right time and got a show. So it just reminds me of like the times when I was like super young, very like bright-eyed and, a little naive to the world, but, happy-go-lucky and also living in my own apartment for the first time. So, soup was on the daily, like my meal choice, mainly because I had to. But, it's the comfort of it. It's,
That's amazing. I love that. I'm a big dog person, so I know how important puppies are in our lives.
Yeah.
So
his name was Jack after the role.
Oh,
He was cute. He was cute.
What type of dog was it? Can I ask?
He was a Yorkie Chihuahua mix.
That is so
I
cute.
know. He was my buddy.
Oh. So we knew that know that you grew up in Colorado, and we were just wondering, how do the soups differ from Colorado and New York City? And relative to that, have you tried any super memorable soups on tour or in any specific cities that are big soup standout cities for you?
That is a good, interesting question. Colorado is more of like a southwestern state, so we get a lot of the southwestern and Mexican influences. A lot of green chili, a lot of chilies, a lot of beef, a lot of meat, a lot of with like tons of like whole vegetables in it. And then, of course you go to New York and you have like a plethora. It was like the first time I had sushi. It was the first time I had, like actually really good Thai food and, matzo ball soup. Like, so it's moving to the city was definitely like not only an eye opener to, different cultures, but also, the foods that they provide and being able to feel a part of, the world and not just like part of just like a small little town in Colorado.
Absolutely. Wow. That's so intriguing. I grew, Danny and I both grew up on Long Island, so we were pretty close to New York. So I didn't even think about like how much of a culture shock that is food-wise. That's really
yeah. I mean, my mom was from Chicago, so you know, I definitely grew up with a knowledge of the city, but you know, Colorado is so slow paced and is just like, you know, very different from New York. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, our next segment is something we like to call Speed Round. So we're going to name a role that you've played in your career, and you need to tell us off the top of your head what soup that role is and why.
oh gosh.
Bach in Wicked
is a oh no, this is hard. I would say chicken noodle soup, because you know he was like the heart of the show, and a chicken noodle soup is definitely the heart of the soups, I think, because it's, you know, a big staple for when you get sick, when you know. All of
Okay, SpongeBob in SpongeBob Squarepants the musical.
It's definitely a gazpacho, or is that how you say it? Like some kind of like fruit gazpacho, you know, probably with a pineapple in it.
Yeah.
Like little zest, something like summery and happy and fruity.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Jack in Glory Days.
Jack in Glory Days. Ugh. I don't know why I think like pot pie, but pot pie is not a soup. Maybe like
actually
chicken pot pie soup.
It's really good.
It is.
Hometown boy. You know, there's, you know, you can get a lot of surprises in pot pie. You know, you crack open the top and there's just plethora of different things. I don't know.
In Xanadu.
Oh man, that's like a chili, like a spicy chili, I think, maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We actually, I go to Wright University, and we just auditioned for Xanadu for this coming semester, of course, prior to this shutdown.
It's the best freaking show ever. I love
it
it.
was a lot of fun. Duty and Grief.
Probably a top ramen soup. I don't know. No, he's Duty was probably Italian, so I would do like a nice pasta visual. I mean, his mom probably had that every Sunday with his mom and his family. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Luke in Altar Boys.
Oh man, top ramen soup for sure. Keep it cheap, keep it good. He's on the road a lot. It's easy.
Definitely. Josh in 9 to 5.
Oh man. He was like a Campbell's soup boy. Is the 70s, you know?
For sure. And last but not least, Electric Skate in SpongeBob Squarepants the musical.
That would be Electric Skate. Maybe like a tortilla soup. Extra spicy.
Well, congratulations, you finished speed round.
Oh my god, I don't think it was that speedy, but
now is the time of the day for you all at home to leave your questions for Jesse in the comments below. We are gonna see what we have to talk about while we're waiting for those questions to come in. Kristen with Jesse says, top ramen is the move. I had it last night. Maddie Shaw says, iconic. McLean Ryan says, hi Trevor, watching from New Jersey too. McLean and Ryan have been making friends in the comment section since we started Soup Troop.
Amazing. Hey Trevor.
Our first question comes from McLean Ryan. He says, I love dogs. If your dog's personality was a soup, what would it be?
He took care of me more than I took care of him. I would still go back to like the chicken noodle soup, but with like the spiral noodles for sure. Cause he definitely was, he had a lot of personality.
Definitely. Madeline Shaw says, creamy soup or broth soup? This is an important question.
You know what? I do like creamy soup. I would like to say I haven't mentioned like my two favorite soups ever yet. Okay. And I just came to my head because I said this before we even got on this. A creamy broccoli cheddar soup.
That's my favorite soup too, if you couldn't tell.
So good. And then I don't think this is creamy, but a French onion soup for sure. Little creamy because of the cheese.
Yeah, we used to have on the Soup Troop Instagram, which you could follow at souptroop.fwf, we used to have a like whole story full of just French onion soup.
Nice.
Kristen Wisniewski says, is chowder soup?
Yeah, got a clam chowder.
True. Okay, yeah, that was a good example.
I don't know, right? If you eat it with a spoon, I guess it could be, or, well, if you eat it, if you like it, it's a soup. I don't know.
Good.
I'm doing good.
LMM123 says, fave soup weather?
Oh, fall. Fall, for sure.
Yeah, how do you feel about like a pumpkin soup?
I do like a pumpkin soup. I do.
Soup.
Yeah, only in the fall though, or winter. You can have it in winter.
Yeah, at Frenchwoods, where Soup Troop was started, we used to have pumpkin soup and like sweet potato yam soup, but it was and it always felt a little not
with a little pumpkin seeds on top.
Yeah, exactly. Trevor Shingler says, "What is your opinion on split soup?"
Depends on who makes it.
Okay.
I don't hate it. I do like a split. How do you say it? Split pea soup. Say that 3 times.
And our last question for Jesse is, oh, that's not it. If you could turn any regular food into a soup version, what would it be?
Enchilada. Well, no, there's already but tacos, like a taco soup.
Mm.
I love tacos.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, that is all of the questions that we have time for today. So thank you so much, Jesse, for being with us today.
Thank you.
Remember to check out Jesse's EP, Ginger Love, which is now available on iTunes. Some nice feel-good music for your day.
Yeah.
So once again, thank you so much. And
thank you, guys.
are you ready for our collective at the end of every Soup Troop? On the count of 3, we all say 1, 2, 3. We're here for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Amazing. I love you guys. Thank you.
Bye. Yay, that was Jesse. You can follow him below on Instagram at JesseJP Johnson to follow all the cool things he's doing. He's wonderful, and we're so happy to have had him here on Soup Troop. We are very excited to introduce our next guest of the day. It's Damon J. Gillespie. He just played Robbie Thorne in NBC's Rise. He was also in the Broadway companies of Aladdin and Newsies, and I also had the wonderful privilege of working with him on Hide and Seek in the same production as Jesse at 54 Below, which was a musical that I wrote about my coming out experience, and Damon indeed played the boy I loved. So without further ado, please welcome Damon. Hello.
Hi. Welcome. We're so happy to have you here.
You.
Uh-oh.
Try your audio again. Oh.
Oh, no.
Now.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Beautiful. Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
We are so happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. I'm really excited. I was like, I didn't know what to expect, and that was really fun. That was really fun to watch.
Oh, we're so happy to have you here. So, as per the tradition, what is your favorite soup memory?
My favorite soup memory is probably around like late middle school, early high school, my mom would take me to this rinky-dink like Chinese buffet in my hometown. And every time I would go there, I would get the wonton soup. Just broth though, because clearly that's my brand, is just broth. And so that is like my favorite memory. Is like we would go twice a month on the weekend, and it actually became like my favorite dish of all time. So like my favorite food ever is like wonton soup. So
wow. And the wontons.
But sometimes I would throw in the wontons. It's just, add a little razzle dazzle if you need it,
Of course. Good. So we are very excited to have Damon as he's preparing to, he's already filmed, but on Netflix soon, Tiny Pretty Things is coming. It is about ballet, and we are excited to see it. All the information we've gotten is that it's coming around about Halloween time, which is intriguing in itself. Damon, if that show was a soup, what soup would it be and why?
I'd say like an albondigas, which is a Hispanic meatball soup, and it's really spicy. So I'd probably go with that.
Ooh, interesting. I'm so excited.
Which I actually have I had never even heard of it until my friend made it for me like 6 years ago. And I was like, he was like, it's called albondigas. And I was like, bless you. And then I had it. It's so good, but it's really spicy. So that's what I would call this show, an albondigas.
That is amazing. So you were obviously in the NBC's Rise, which you are incredible in.
Thank
and
you.
We would like to ask you, discuss a little bit about the filming process of Rise and how did soups maybe come into play throughout this season? And did any of the cast members maybe bond over a specific soup?
You know, here's the thing. The filming process of that show was crazy. Because especially for me, because one day I would be suited up in football and be throwing running and doing like cardio. And then the next I'd be like, okay, I got to warm up for, to sing high B's for the last song. It was really, really, it trains you to be very cautious about your stamina. I will say when we had soup on set, it was bomb. And it was always new. It was always a new soup. So I was always about that. But I wish I could say that any of us bonded over a soup. Not in Rise, at least. We never bonded over a soup. But I felt like if it was introduced, we could have. Maybe that would have made our connection even stronger.
So I want to hear more about the soups that you had on set. I did not know that this happened. So like what soup stood out to you? Like how often did they serve you guys soup?
Oh, there was especially when it got into like late October, early November, there was soup every day for lunch. And you get and I'm not good with soups. Like I didn't grow up eating a lot of soup. Like we were straight up Campbell's chicken and noodle soup. And that was our extent of that. But they would come in with a split pea. They would come in with a cream of mushroom, or they would come in with some really, really good like chicken lentil soup. Like it was different all the time, especially in the colder months. And that happens a lot on set, which is really nice because they're like, it's cold, have some soup. And we're like, yes. Wait, there was also so craft services, like 3 times a day will come in before the meals and like serve different things. They'll serve like sandwiches or soups. And I completely forgot that they would always do this incredible, and I hate tomatoes, but they would do an incredible tomato bisque that would slap every time. So I gotta shout out to the tomato bisque crafty service on Rise.
That's incredible. So that was during October, November. But so we know you were on Broadway in Aladdin and in Newsies. Both of those were in warmer seasons for you.
Yeah, well, it's warmer seasons of New York.
Yeah.
Newsies was a warmer season, but Aladdin was in the colder seasons.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So how did your soup intake for those shows like differ, especially now that we know they were in different seasons? Did the soup help warm you up? You were a dancer in both of those shows. You can see him on the Netflix, like the streamed version of Newsies. He's incredible. Did you need soup? Did you guys get soup? Was it too hot for soup? What's going on?
Mainly, if I ever had soup, it was probably a chicken noodle soup because it was it kind of went down smoother. But there used to be a Chopped right beside the theater, and then on the other side, like on 42nd, there was a Pax, and whenever we had a matinee, I would go in and grab like a chicken noodle soup because it would really help warm up my voice when you have to sing as an alto in that show, because there are no tenors in that show, or no bass baritones. It's just tenors and altos. So, that 100% was a thing. After the show of Aladdin, during a show of Aladdin, after whatever it was, during Aladdin, that's what I was trying to say. I would always I would go home and like just throw on some broth or something and just like sit, and because mentally it helped heal my sore muscles. It didn't, but in my head it did. And so I would just kind of like sit with a bowl and just little by little, just be like, I need a minute. That show was tough.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Having soup right near your show sounds like such a win in my book. So now is the time that you can leave your questions for Damon. If you've ever wondered anything about soup in relation to him, please leave those questions down below.
Please do. All right. You got it, and I did, so no, I'm kidding.
We have a bunch of questions rolling in. Madeline Shaw says, to dip or not to dip grilled cheese in tomato soup?
Yes. Why even have the grilled cheese if why have it there if you're not going to dip it? Like, absolutely dip it. Absolutely.
Agreed. Kristen Wisniewski says, how is about thoughts on soup for a first date? Does the potential spillage factor scare you?
Yes. I am totally against like soups on a first date, because if I'm going to mess this, everything that I've done, like if I'm going to make a joke out of myself, I'm going to do it on my terms, not because the food decided to attack me at that point. So I don't recommend it. You do you, but I don't recommend it because I don't like that. I don't like ruining everything on a first date.
Well, you've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Damon says, do not have soup on a first date. Don't do it.
Because it like drips and like you look weird. You're just like, maybe date 3.
All right, date 3.
Date 3, you can embark on a soup, of course.
In the book. McLean Ryan asks, thoughts on eating soup through a straw?
Doesn't that hurt your throat? Like, that's my first thought. You're like, it's bad enough like you're eating soup through a straw like a psychopath, but like I feel like that would hurt your throat. You need to like sip it. The tongue.
I'd like to bring in something that might be a little controversial. Have you ever seen a soup bowl that has a straw connected into the bowl?
No.
Not unless it's for toddlers.
Well, as a grown toddler, I would like to say I brought those bowls with me to college and I have them with me.
Awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, Danny is apparently a serial killer. So just to let everyone know.
But if you're eating like something like ramen and then you have the noodles, it makes it more of a
I never thought of that.
It makes it a more of a convenient like drink, because like it's more easy to get like the broth, because you've always seen people taking a bowl and like they tip it this way to drink it. But if you already have a straw, it just grants a different perspective. I respect your opinions on straws, but
no, I stand corrected. That's brilliant.
It's a game changer. I'm serious.
It is a game changer. Who the hell am I to say something? That's amazing. I never thought of that.
I must also shout out my dad and my entire extended family who is watching from home on the Jewish New Year. But he bought me like sipping soups, where I used to bring them to like high school, and I would like microwave them in my like teacher's microwave, and you sip them like a beverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's places in the city that will serve
Brodo broth.
Bro, yes! She knows.
We've been there. Danny and I both went to Brodo broth.
We conducted a soup troop meeting there once.
It's like in a Starbucks cup, like you're drinking soup through a coffee cup. It's delicious.
Which is like brilliant. Like, especially during the cold months, you're just like, getting your fix. I'm about it.
Definitely. LMM says, unpopular soup opinion?
you don't need that much in it for it to be good. And that's an unpopular opinion that I will like, a good broth will make a good soup. Do you want other stuff in there? Of course. But it's not a soup without the broth. And if your broth is trash, the soup is trash.
You're right. You're completely
Unpopular
right.
opinion, but
I like that. Andy J says, oyster crackers or saltines? There is a correct answer. He hasn't commented what the answer is, though. So
It seems like there's a lot riding on this one.
I'm gonna say saltine, because the oyster crackers, if I remember them correctly, those are the little ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every time I would eat them, I felt like I was chewing on chalk. It never tasted like it, but mentally I was like, this is chalk. So I have to say saltines. That's an OG for me. So I gotta go with that one.
It was a very high stakes question, of course.
I was really nervous.
So we'll wait for his response. Last question of the day.
Okay.
No, I lied. It was a double question. Let me.
It was a two-parter question.
A two-parter question.
Let's do it.
Oh, we got an answer from Andy J.
Answer from Andy J. Andy J. Saltines are the best oyster crackers. Not right.
The tea, the soup.
He was proud of you. He just.
You have one soup troop. Congratulations, Damon.
You won. Yay. Well, that is all of the time we have for questions for Damon today. So we want to thank you so much for being with us. Danny,
thank you.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're here for you.
Thank you so much, Damon.
Thank you.
Yay, that was Damon J. Gillespie. You could follow him on Instagram down below at Damon J. Gillespie, his name. We were so excited to have Jesse and Damon on the show today. That was absolutely thrilling. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at SOUP TROUPE ONLINE and on Instagram at souptroupe.fwf. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We are a growing and welcoming community, and we are excited to talk about soup with new special guests each week. We are very excited for next week's guest, which we will announce on our social media platforms later in the week.
You can read more about Soup Troupe online on BroadwayWorld.com. Can you believe it, guys? We made it on BroadwayWorld.com, so make sure to check out that article. The link will be in the description below. So once again, thank you so much for joining. Make sure to stay tuned on our social media for announcements next week. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you next week.
Yay! We will play you out with a little video, but until next week, my name is Danny.
And I'm Danny, and thank you for watching Soup Troupe Online. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Have a super day!
Yay! We love the Zoomiverse.
Danny, Soup Troupe.
S for the sweet, sweet soup we eat at lunch all day, all week. Oh!
Hello, everyone. We are going to replay that video for you all because it did not work. You can hear it in the background. We will play that one more time for you, everyone. There's Danny.
So sorry for the soup technical difficulties.
Oh, no. Yay.
Soup Troupe.
S for the sweet, sweet soup we eat at lunch all day, all week. Oh, please meet us after lunch in the canteen. You, for you, to jump together through any room.
Please welcome members from every troop on Netflix. Right now.
S for the sweet, sweet soup we eat